Is this a bit of history? Hit it! It's in the net! Unbelievable! That is absolutely astonishing! Right out of the top drawer. An absolute classic! What a strike! This could be it! It is! Gary just about keeps it in! Luigi De Lucas! Powering forwards, Danilo lays it off to Lammers, little dummy, Lammers! Oh, tip that out! Kyogo plays it through, there's the chance, oh! Oh, what a finish for Celtic! It's a good tackle, but Jamie McGrath's in there, he goes down! Back to his feet and it's in!
Good evening. After a week of ups and downs in European competition, a Sunday service required former Celtic defender Mark Wilson and former Hearts captain Michael Stewart with us. Celtic unbeaten in 49 home league matches. Only once had they gone 50+ without a home league defeat. That was under the stewardship of Martin O'Neill, a run that was ended by Aberdeen, who are the visitors today. Celtic in need of a reaction after their 6-0 mauling at the hands of Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. Aberdeen arriving off the back of a relatively positive 2-2 draw in the Europa Conference away to Pau. But the Dons had lost 33 of their last 35 league visits to Celtic Park. Commentary comes from Andrew Petrie.
Celtic are looking for their 50th consecutive league match at home without defeat. Can they reach that milestone after a bruising week in Europe? Aberdeen stand in their way. They've not scored in their last 6 visits to Celtic Park. Brendan Rodgers makes 2 changes from the side that were thumped 6-0 by Atletico Madrid in the week. Norwegian midfielder Odin Thiago Holm replaces Paulo Bernardo and makes his first league start. South Korean forward Yang Hyun-jun is chosen to replace Daisen Maeda, who is out for at least the next 6 weeks. 4 changes for Aberdeen as Barry Robson looks to freshen things up. Bojan Majowski is back up front. Johnny Hayes is given a start alongside midfielders Leighton Clarkson and Dante Polvara. Duke, Connor Barron and Ryan Duncan dropped to the bench. Jamie McGrath misses out completely. There will be a moment of silence as victims of conflicts everywhere are remembered here at Celtic Park. And a moment of silence there, not observed by all at Celtic Park. Yang skips away from a few challenges. Brendan Rodgers wanted them to bounce back. They've done that in style. It finishes at Celtic Park. Celtic 6, Aberdeen 0.
Another 6-0 Celtic, this time on the right side of it. An utterly dismal afternoon for Aberdeen. They've now lost 34 of their last 36 league visits to Celtic Park. And Michael, the strategy from Aberdeen was clear, to sit in and try and nullify Celtic, and it was completely over, though, as a contest after 16 minutes.
Yeah, very much so. Obviously, Celtic taking a quick lead, getting 2-0 up inside that first 16 minutes, and
I think Barry was right to probably adopt that approach at the beginning. If you look back probably 4 or 5 weeks ago when they played Rangers at Ibrox and they adopted a similar approach and they frustrated Rangers. But the difference in that occasion, of course, is Aberdeen get the first goal and the second.
But that was one that was the right decision from the VAR officials.
Absolutely. As for David Turnbull, whenever he comes on, he always impresses, I think. Yeah. What do you see it with David Turnbull?
I mean, look, I think he's an absolutely wonderful talent, and his striking ability is probably second to none. But
An emphatic victory today for Celtic. Next to Livingston, who began the day bottom of the table. Every stat pointing to a Rangers victory. Commentary comes from Alasdair, Lamont.
Two sides on starkly different runs of form as Livy look to arrest a 4-game losing streak, while Rangers seek to continue their upturn in fortunes under Philippe Clement. Davy Martindale makes sweeping changes to the side that lost to Dundee. Shamal George in goal is one of 5 players brought in. Christian Montagno returns from suspension, while Louis De Lucas, Mo Sangari and Bruce Anderson all start. Philippe Clement also freshened things up with 4 changes after Thursday's exertions against Sparta Prague. There's a first start for Ross McCausland, who's impressed off the bench recently, with Leon Balogun, Tom Lawrence and Cyril Dessers also coming in. Dessers has dispossessed him, confidently struck, sending Shamal George the wrong way.
A very comfortable victory for Rangers in a match laden with VAR controversy. Ross McCausland making his first start for Rangers. Clearly a very talented player, but let's cut to the chase. Michael, was it a dive or a penalty?
comes back to that whole debate we're having about VAR now. We're analysing things to death during the game, which is slowing things down, losing the atmosphere.
Right, let's move on. When Sportscene's done plenty of podcasts for you available on BBC Sounds, the Scottish Football Podcast. That's available daily midweek. Behind the Goals with Leanne Crichton, Rachel Corsie and guests comes to you on a Tuesday. Sacked in the Morning, available every Wednesday. And Off the Ball with Stuart Cosgrove and Tam Cowan, available after their weekend programmes. Time now to round up the best of the Saturday Premiership action. Tonight, the Cinch Premiership table looks like this. Celtic top, 8 points clear of Rangers. Philippe Clement's side do have a game in hand. St Mirren, third on 19 points. Hearts, fourth. Dundee, fifth, both level on 17 points. St Johnstone up to the heady heights of third bottom on 11 points. Livingston at the foot of the table on goal difference from Ross County. We take a break from things domestic for the international matches coming up, and it's slightly strange at the moment because we don't have any nerve-shredding Scotland feelings because we've already qualified. I suppose the question is about the squad and what we want from these matches. Lawrence Shankland, we just saw him there, Michael.
Unfortunately for Lawrence Shankland, I'm not convinced that Steve Clarke is somebody that looks to, you know, even in the times when he's been in the squad, he's not.
Yes. Yeah. Mark, Michael, thank you very much indeed. Plenty to keep you going this week. Sportscene Goals Plus on the iPlayer tomorrow. All the best action from the weekend in bite-sized form. On Thursday, there's live coverage of Georgia versus Scotland on BBC Radio Scotland. Sportsound on air at 4 o'clock. Highlights on the telly at 10 on the BBC Scotland channel. And on Sunday, highlights of the match against Norway at 10:30 on BBC One Scotland. Before that, on Friday night, the SPFL Challenge Cup, Falkirk versus Dundee United at 7:30 on BBC Alapa. And an Edinburgh Derby in the SWPL on Saturday, 2 o'clock on BBC iPlayer. It has been the sort of weekend Sportscene was made for. A well-earned breather now from the domestic hurly-burly for the international break. Until next time, from all of us on the Sportscene team, good night.